Hi everyone, my name is Apuraj Garikapati. Welcome to my YouTube channel Amazing Apai. Solo leveling. Ragnarok begins after Sung Jinwoo's main story, but it does not simply repeat his journey. This time, the story follows Sung Suho, the son of Sung Jinwoo and Cha Hee-in. He was born with frightening potential, but his powers and memories were sealed so he could live like a normal person. Season 1 would cover Suho's first awakening, his early hunter battles, his training, the first signs of the Idaram threat, and his own job change. The clean projected coverage is Webtoon chapters 1 through 47. The hook is simple. Jinwoo saved the world from the monarchs, but something beyond that war is now reaching Earth. And the only person who can stand between that threat and humanity is a boy who does not yet understand what he has inherited. At the start, Suho looks like a normal young man. He studies, lives an ordinary life, and does not fully understand why strange instincts keep sleeping inside him. But this peaceful life is not the whole truth. Suho is the son of the Shadow Monarch. His father did not seal his power because Suho was weak. He sealed it because Suho was too dangerous to grow up normally with that power uncontrolled. That makes the beginning of Ragnarok interesting. Suho is not starting from zero like Jinwoo did. He is starting from a hidden inheritance. The question is not only, can he become strong? The real question is, can he become strong without losing himself? The season truly begins when danger crashes into Suho's ordinary world. Monsters appear, people panic, and the peace created after Jinwoo's sacrifice begins to crack. This is where Suho's instincts wake up. At first, he does not understand what is happening to his body. But when innocent people are in danger, he moves before he can even think. His power responds to fear, pressure, and the need to protect. This first arc should feel fast and emotional. Suho is not standing on a battlefield because he wants glory. He is forced into action because the world around him suddenly becomes a dungeon. By the end of this section, the audience understands that Suho is no ordinary student. Something inside him has opened, and it cannot be sealed again. One of the biggest emotional hooks of Ragnarok is Beru's return. For original solo leveling fans, Beru is not just a shadow soldier. He is a living reminder of Jinwoo's old battles, his army, and the loyalty that followed him into the final war. When Beru appears before Suho, it confirms that this new crisis is connected to something far bigger than a simple dungeon break. Jinwoo is not casually missing. He is fighting a larger battle away from Earth, and Suho's awakening is part of that emergency. Beru's role gives Season 1 a strong emotional bridge. He connects father and son, old story and new story. Through him, the audience feels that Jinwoo's legacy is still alive, but now it must be carried by Suho. After awakening, Suho cannot return to being completely ordinary. He enters the hunter world and begins facing monsters in a more direct way. This is the part where the story slows down just enough to show his first real steps as a fighter. The D-rank dungeon section is important because it gives Suho practical experience. He learns that power alone is not enough. He must read the battlefield, understand enemy movement, protect others, and survive without fully understanding the depth of his own ability. For the audience, this arc works like Suho's first test. It shows that he has talent, courage, and instinct, but he is still rough. He is not Jinwoo yet. He is a new protagonist learning how to stand in a world that already remembers legend. Before we move ahead, please take a second to like on this video. A like tells me that you enjoyed this topic. Your support helps Amazing Apai grow naturally. The Gwanek Mountain arc expands the scale from a closed dungeon to a dangerous field environment. This is where Suho begins to feel how unpredictable the new era is. Monsters are not waiting politely inside gates. The battlefield can spread, shift, and swallow ordinary places. Suho faces enemies that force him to fight with more creativity. He cannot simply rush forward. He has to adapt, cooperate, and use every advantage he has. The arc also helps build his identity as someone different from his father. Jinwoo often felt like a lonely storm moving through enemies. Suho feels more like a young fighter learning through connection, instinct, and improvisation. This difference makes Ragnarok feel fresh instead of just being a copy of the original story. The Seoul Station Field arc should be one of the major action highlights of Season 1. The story moves into a crowded urban space where danger is no longer isolated. People are trapped, hunters are overwhelmed, and Suho has to act while everything around him collapses. This arc matters because it puts pressure on Suho's heart, not just his strength. He sees what happens when monsters enter a real city. He sees fear, confusion, and the cost of hesitation. Every fight here pushes him closer to accepting responsibility. He may not have asked to inherit the Shadow Monarch's bloodline, but he cannot ignore people who need saving. By the end of this arc, Suho is no longer just reacting. He is beginning to choose the path of a protect. The Pyramid arc is where Season 1 shifts into training and transformation. Suho encounters a brutal trial that tests his body, pride, and endurance. The atmosphere changes from city chaos to ancient power, where every wall feels like it is judging whether he is worthy to move forward. Ammit's presence makes this section feel different from earlier monster fights. This is not just about defeating a creature. It is about being forced to grow under pressure. Suho has to sharpen his physical strength, his instincts, and his ability to keep standing when the enemy looks impossible. This arc gives the audience a satisfying training story feeling. We watch Suho suffer, adapt, and slowly become someone who can survive battles far above normal hunter. After the early training and field battles, the real enemy's side becomes clearer. The threat is not only monsters. There are beings and followers connected to the Idaram, forces from beyond the old monarch war, trying to move through Earth's weak points. Lee Minsung and Tile bring a sharper villain presence into the season. The conflict becomes more personal, more manipulative, and more dangerous. Suho is not just clearing enemies anymore. He is being watched, tested, and targeted because of what he represents. This is where Season 1 starts building mystery. The audience should feel that every fight has another layer behind it. Someone wants Suho's power, someone fears his potential, and someone is trying to push him toward a path he did not choose. Before we move ahead, please take a second to share on this video. Sharing helps this video reach friends who may also enjoy anime, gaming, travel, cricket, chess, career basics, or personal stories. Your support helps Amazing Abhi grow naturally. One of the strongest ideas in Ragnarok Season 1 is Suho's relationship with the system. In the original story, the system shapes Jinwoo's rise. In Ragnarok, Suho begins to question whether he should simply accept the path given to him. The pressure around him increases. Tile's threat grows. The Black Mask identity becomes more dangerous, and Suho is pulled deeper into a situation where his own fate seems to be decided by outside forces. But Suho's personality becomes clear here. He is not satisfied with being a replacement for Jinwoo, and he is not willing to become a tool for the system. His strength comes from rejecting a forced identity and choosing his own direction. That choice sets up the season's final trial. The final stretch of Season 1 becomes Suho's version of a job change arc, but it is not a simple repeat of Jinwoo fighting Igris. Suho's trial is more psychological. He is forced to confront versions of himself, unfamiliar memories, and possible futures that challenge what he believes he should become. The most important battle is not only against an enemy with weapons. It is against the idea that his path has already been written. Every version of himself represents a direction he could take, but none of them fully define him. This gives the finale emotional weight. Suho is not just trying to earn a class. He is trying to prove that his future belongs to him. The audience should feel the same thrill as Jinwoo's original job change arc, but with a new theme: inheritance versus identity. The season ends with Suho completing the advancement quest and making the decision that defines him. Instead of simply accepting one path, he refuses to be boxed in. He merges the options before him and creates a unique direction for his own power. This is the perfect Season 1 ending because it tells the audience exactly what Ragnarok is about. Suho is connected to Sung Jinwoo, but he is not just Jinwoo number 2. He carries shadow, legacy, and impossible expectations, but his journey will be his own. The final feeling should be excitement. Suho has awakened, survived his first major battles, and chosen his identity. But Tile, the Idaram threat, and the mystery around Jinwoo and Cha-hyeon are still waiting. Season 1 ends not with everything solved, but with the promise that Sung Suho's real war has only just begun. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to Amazing Abhi. Subscribing makes sure you do not miss the next video, and it gives me motivation to keep improving the quality of every upload. Thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next one.